Hello, my name is Erica, and I'm the Dyslexic Trekkie. This week I'm going to be doing something a bit different because my work schedule is a little insane this week, and I won't be able to have time to do the usual editing. Ensign Bradbury is on command behind me. He is ensuring that I don't make any mistakes. I'm sure we'll hear from him if I do. I am going to be basically riffing. One of the things people have complained about is that my videos tend to sound a little bit forced or controlled. It's because I'm reading off of a script, and I literally can't think of a more horrifying way of doing things, but I like writing, so I want to write my scripts. And I have a lot to say, and I want to make sure I say it. I've been catching up on Discovery. Because of my work schedule, I never really watched it. Plus, I kind of lost interest when they went to the Mirror Universe. I kind of hate the Mirror Universe. And I also was kind of hating what they did with the Klingons. Not just their makeup, but now that they're back, I've been playing catch up. Just because I'm going to do this channel, I've got to actually know what's going on in the contemporary work as well. So I finally watched the episode where they explain that Spock is learning disabled. They go just shy of saying he's dyslexic. They bring up dyslexia. They say it's like dyslexia, but it's a temporal spatial condition. And as I'm watching it, all I'm thinking is those things can be a part of dyslexia too. I have a lot of thoughts on what they did with this. Yes, Ray. He agrees. There's a lot to do. Ensign Bradbury, yeah, you get your thoughts up too, Ensign Bradbury, because you're going to come down here? Okay. He wants to make sure he's by my side, make sure I don't make any mistakes. Good boy. Yes, he and I have been kind of on the outs, and he's making up with me. Yes. Okay. Anyway, I think I'm going to be keeping this in the actual video. There probably won't be outtakes because it's all just going to be there. Anyway, I like what they did and I like how they did it, but I think they tried to be a little too safe. I said to somebody earlier today that it strikes me like they wanted to make sure they didn't go too far, and instead of getting people who actually know about learning disabilities, they just kept from going too far. The idea of it being a sort of Vulcanish version of dyslexia he inherited from his mom because of his being of mixed species was a safe way to go. But they could have just said he was dyslexic. It actually might have made some of his character from the original series make sense. There's a lot of times when Spock can do things in the original series that we are expected to assume are just because he's a Vulcan, and Vulcans are smarter and they can do things that humans can't do. And that might be the case to some degree, but if you look at a lot of his skills, they are actually some of the attributes people with dyslexia can do. I've said on a few occasions that I don't really rewatch the videos before I write the descriptions, and I think it tells sometimes. I have a few things that end up a little bit out of order or smushed together, but I remember all of the episodes from the original series, The Next Generation, Voyager, and Deep Space Nine because I memorized them. I have to rely on memorization to make up for my difficulties with reading, and it comes out in the fact that watching a TV show is pretty well similar to the process of memorization. I have to do certain equations in my head because if I write down the numbers, I'm going to read them wrong. And one of the things Spock is known for being able to do is complex equations in his head. Dyslexics are known for big picture thinking. We think in abstracts. We don't really think in words in the same way as a neurotypical individual does. And it comes out in kind of weird ways. We tend to make strange connections. And a lot of Spock's logic comes from extremely strange mental leaps. I think that could be a combination of his Vulcan brain with a more neuroatypical brain structure. And I don't like the idea of retconning it as he got better when he got older. His dad's statement that the learning center fixed it. It's a misconception about learning disabilities. We get better when we get older. It's a child's condition. When we're children, we have it, and when we get older, we don't. What actually happens is People who are more mild learn certain coping skills, and after that they can get on with their lives. Others of us have to learn other coping techniques. One of those things is to mask so people don't notice that we're having difficulty reading. For me, I memorize the roads I drive down so that I don't have to rely on reading the road names to be able to know where I'm at. I can't read that fast. It's just not a viable option for me. It means if I'm driving down a road I've never been on, I absolutely must have GPS. And before GPS, I got lost a lot. For Spock, I think it comes off as him using the audio programs on the ship very proficiently. Whenever he's on them, it's talking to him, even when reading is an option. For the viewers, I think it's there so that we can keep up with what's going on at his level. It becomes their way of making up for lack of exposition, but it makes sense as a coping technique for a learning disability. He uses the audio format to make up for it, and the people around him don't realize that it's actually a learning disability because he's the only Vulcan on the ship. He's around almost completely human crew members, and so, of course, when he's around them, what they're going to see is Spock being a Vulcan, not Spock being a dyslexic. So, yeah, that's my view on that. The next video, what I was never going to be able to get done in time, was actually my first Star Trek Revised. As I'm working on it, I'm imagining it's going to actually end up being in a few parts, just because I took it on myself to revise an episode that an entire writing crew managed to screw up the first time around. I always manage to bite off more than I can chew, but that's why I have as little skill in making these videos, but I'm still doing it because I'm stubborn as hell, so I will do it. And I hope when it's done, people will watch it and see what I'm trying to do. As usual, if you've liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any thoughts, feelings, or ideas, both on this video and doing this format of kind of riffing, share in the comments below. Again, my name is Erica, and I'm the Dyslexic Trekkie.